You people are all the same. You come into our neighborhoods and think you can just take whatever you want. Well, not this time. Not on my watch. That's what she screamed at me. Her face twisted in pure venom, her words hanging in the air like poison, so thick you could almost taste the hate. I never thought I'd end up in a war over something so small, so utterly American, on a Tuesday afternoon so quiet you could hear the wind. But here I was, watching my wife Monique, standing frozen on our porch, just holding the mail. Let me back up a sec. Because you have to understand, that wasn't the start. That was the boiling point, the day the cracks split wide open. 6 months earlier, we were just two people, me, Jamal, and my wife Monique, full of hope, keys to a new colonial house jingling in our hands, breathing in the smell of new paint and cut grass, thinking this would finally be our forever home. We had big dreams, backyard barbecues, kids running through sprinklers, lazy Sundays on the porch with iced tea. We were one of maybe 3 black families on the block, but honestly, we didn't care. We were proud of what we'd built, sure we'd be accepted. This was the 21st century, right? First few weeks were a honeymoon. Welcome baskets, neighborly smiles, people waving as we moved boxes. For a minute, I let myself believe we'd made it, that people saw us for who we were, hardworking, just like them. But then came the little things, the ones you try to brush off. The sideways glances, the whispered things are changing from the woman in the lime green tracksuit, the one they all call Karen. She was everywhere, watering her flowers, peering through her blinds. A low hum of negativity. It started with Karen, but the neighborhood followed. One afternoon, I'm mowing my own lawn, sweat running down my back, and a police cruiser rolls up. Officer steps out, hand on his belt, and asks if I need help. You know what I mean? I'm mowing my own lawn and someone's called me in as a suspicious person. Karen's peeking out, probably feeling vindicated. A month later, Monique's planting flowers and another cop pulls up because someone's reported a disturbance, as if gardening was a crime. Both times, Karen's tracksuit is a green blur behind her window. We tried to ignore her, keep our heads high, focus on the people who smiled and waved for real. But Karen was relentless, lurking, waiting for a chance to strike harder. And that day came like a bad joke. It was the kind of day you'd call perfect. I'm in the kitchen chopping peppers for dinner. Monique calls out she's grabbing the mail. Next thing I hear is Karen's voice slicing through the air. You don't belong here. That's when I froze. My first instinct was to charge out, but Monique had made me promise, let me handle her. I can't have them seeing you as the angry black man. So I stood at the window, fists clenched, praying she wouldn't need me. Karen's out there, jabbing her phone in Monique's face, screaming about stealing federal mail, threatening to call the police, blocking the front door so Monique can't even get inside our own house. That wasn't just harassment, that was intimidation, that was false imprisonment. The promise I made didn't matter anymore. I dropped the knife, wiped my hands, and went out there. The police sirens were growing closer, the air so tense you could feel it pressing down on your chest. The same officer from before steps out, shoulders sagging because he knows what's coming, but the second cop, younger, more eager, is itching for action. Karen shrieking about squatters, waving her phone like a trophy, demanding the police search our house. The older cop tries to calm her, tells her we own the house, but she's in too deep to back down now. The younger officer starts giving us instructions, hands where I can see them, like we're dangerous. That's when the older cop steps in, a hand on his partner's arm, and tells him to stand down. He turns to us and says, I'm sorry for the disturbance. This is the 3rd time we've had a false report from this address. If it happens again, you'll be the one facing charges, ma'am. Karen's face drains white, but she turns and storms off without another word. The neighborhood goes silent, but the peace is gone. Our home doesn't feel safe. That night, Monique and I pick at dinner, listening to every creak and sigh of the house, feeling like prisoners in our own home. But the real twist came later that evening. A knock at the door, hesitant, almost apologetic. I check the peephole, see Ms. Diana Harper, our elderly neighbor from across the street, a quiet woman with kind eyes and a trembling hand. She's got tears in her eyes. I saw what happened today, she whispers. This isn't the first time Karen's done this. 20 years ago, she did the same thing to another black woman on this block. Sarah was her name. She lost everything because of a lie. Karen accused her of stealing a necklace, got her arrested, ruined her life. The necklace turned up behind Karen's dresser 6 months later. The room goes still. Monique's eyes are wide, her hand over her mouth. Miss Harper says she stayed silent back then, didn't want to get involved, but she's done being a coward. She offers to help us. She knows the neighborhood, knows who's been hurt by Karen before. With her help, and the stories of other neighbors, like the Latina mom Karen called CPS on, or the Asian teen she called the cops on for skateboarding, we start to see the pattern. Karen isn't just one racist neighbor, she's a one-woman wrecking crew, hiding behind HOA rules and fake concern, targeting anyone who doesn't fit her idea of normal. Then, Ms. Harper tells us a secret Karen never wanted the world to know. Karen's own son, Michael, lives in the city and is in a long-term relationship with a black man named David. Karen hides it from everyone. Her whole life is a lie. We don't want to out Michael, but the hypocrisy is staggering, and it helps us understand just how twisted her hatred really is. With Ms. Harper's support, we begin to gather stories from other families, each one more disturbing than the last. We collect written statements, assemble a file of evidence, and when Karen doubles down, accusing us publicly, threatening to sue, calling us criminals, we go public. We post the security footage online. The video goes viral overnight. A tidal wave of support and outrage follows. News outlets call. The neighborhood's eyes are open now. That's when Michael comes home. He walks into the next HOA meeting, David at his side, and stands up to his mother in front of everyone. He tells the truth about her hatred, about the lives she's ruined, about the family he had to hide. The room erupts in applause. Karen is stripped of her HOA power, fined, and soon after, the district attorney reopens the case into Sarah's wrongful arrest. Marcus, Sarah's son, comes forward. Lawsuits fly. The house of cards Karen built collapses overnight. Our street changes. The block party turns from an awkward obligation to a true celebration. Neighbors who barely spoke now share stories and food. Miss Harper, Michael, and David are at our table, and Monique becomes a leader, speaking about community and justice at local events. But Karen's not done. She sues us for defamation, blaming us for the viral video and for ruining her life. Her lawsuit backfires. In court, the discovery process opens every ugly page of her past, her own diaries, her emails, her history of targeting black, brown, and Asian neighbors, and her confession to framing Sarah. Karen is indicted, her property sold to pay damages, her name now synonymous with hate. A year later, our porch is filled with laughter again. The old house feels like home, and Sarah's memory lives on in a foundation we starred in her name, offering help to anyone targeted by people like Karen. At our first block party fundraiser, Monique stands at the mic and says, "My crime was bringing in my mail." But today, we're not victims. We're builders. We're a community. And for once, I look around and believe it. But here's the thing, you think it's over, but hate doesn't vanish with one viral video or one court verdict. It hides, it festers. The question isn't whether people like Karen will ever be gone for good. It's whether the rest of us will have the guts to speak up, to fight back, to be sunlight on the dark corners. So what would you do if this was your neighborhood, your family, your future on the line? Because, trust me, it's never just about the mail. Now, I want to hear your take. Was justice served, or did the system just patch over the rot? Does one victory really mean anything, or is this fight never-ending? Drop your thoughts below. Let's have that hard conversation.